Well, we're here today to commemorate the 96th anniversary of the Easter Rising and to pay tribute to those volunteers killed in action and who are buried here in this plot. The Easter Rising is of course one of the most iconic events in Irish history as it paved the way for independence. But it also has an international dimension as it inspired other countries to throw off the tyranny of their foreign and imperial masters. It is hard to imagine just how incredible the Rising actually was. Imagine if this morning's news broadcast that 1,500 dissident Republicans had taken over key buildings in Dublin and declared a new republic. Ireland is a small sovereign country, yet within minutes this news would have been broadcast all around the world as a major story. And the international channels like Sky would have flocked to the country and remained in Dublin until after the executions. So continue to imagine if Ireland today was still under British rule and that Britain was still a major power equivalent to America. Only then can we begin to really understand the audacity of the men and women who marched out that day to declare an Irish Republic. If this had been an English, French, German or American rebellion against such mighty odds, it would be recognised as one of the 7 great historical wonders of the world. Think of the Alamo, Thermopylae or the charge of the Light Brigade. Yet these events are dwarfed by the Easter Rising. But when a small nation rises up against one of the great powers, then the significance of the event is deliberately diluted. With the countermanding of orders, the Irish volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army were able to put only about 1,500 men and women into action. Even though England was at war, it was able to muster 20,000 troops within a matter of days to send to Dublin. Its gunboats sailed up the Liffey to bombard the city, and the weaponry and logistics were far superior to those of the Irish. In the countryside, the RIC numbered over 10,000. Redmond's volunteers also gave their assistance against the Irish volunteers, thus fighting for England abroad and on Irish soil. And the countermanding of orders left the volunteers very exposed. Think of the Louth Brigade marching out, about 70 men with a mixture of guns and pikes. The men at Carnmore and Galway too had a smattering of rifles, shotguns and pikes. Many of these men had saved their own money to pay for their rifles. So was it madness, a blood sacrifice? Despite the low turnout, by the end of the week only the mendicity and the City Hall garrisons had surrendered. Jacobs, Boland's, the College of Surgeons, Church Street and the South Dublin Union all held firm. The GPO had been evacuated, but the surrender had only come the following day when Pearse witnessed the killing of civilians by the British. Had the mobilisation orders not been countermanded and had the countryside risen as well, who knows what the outcome would have been. Over 200,000 volunteers under Redmond's direction joined the British Army to fight this imperial war in order to get yet another promise of a limited form of home rule. 50,000 Irishmen lost their lives pursuing that pipe dream. Now that was a blood sacrifice, and for nothing. It is amazing when you read history how so many intelligent people in Ireland felt that the Irish were unable to govern themselves. So many looked only for a limited form of self-government, knowing of course full well that England was reluctant to offer even that. You take what you can get rather than aim for what you really want. So it took vision as well as courage to go beyond the norm. And Tom Clark was the one man who had this vision, who saw that if things continued then Ireland could shortly be completely submerged within the greater identity of the UK and lose its will to break free. The war is not over. Now this is not a call to arms to help liberate the 6 counties that belong to the Union Jack. It is a statement of fact. We are told that the winners write history, but here in Ireland the losers have been rewriting it for the last 50 years and most intensely within the last 15 years. When we see what is going on around us today, the same danger that Clark saw is apparent. We see a country that is ashamed of part of its past, its language, its heritage. The Rising is attacked in the most vicious terms, its leaders labelled as undemocratic, terrorists, criminals and murderers. There is a plan to build a shopping complex on the site of our Alamo. Anyone who disagrees with this new dispensation is labelled as immature, living in the past and told to move on. We invite over to Ireland an individual who claims to be Queen of part of Ireland and ask her to lay a wreath in the Garden of Remembrance. It is as if we need her approval for the sacrifice of those who give their lives to be free of her and her kind. Now that is immaturity. The battlefield in this new war is the print media. It's a one-sided battle. As the Irish Sunday Times said recently, the only thing that the Irish Independent and Irish Times can agree on is their visceral hatred of republicanism. Not only do journalists